Welcome back. I'm Gary Parr.
Jennifer Lopez Rose.
You are listening to the midweek version of Fiber Talk, the twice weekly needlework artist podcast.
Yes.
Okay, tonight, join us tonight. Put it on the calendar. Every third Wednesday of the month is going to be Thread Talk with Cathe Ray. So tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern on the YouTube channel, Cathe Ray will be with us to start our series of Thread Talk shows. And tonight is going to be, she's going to give more of an overview because we got to lay some groundwork. So she's going to give more of an overview of threads and what, basics to know. And then next week or next month in April, then she is going to tie that to the fabrics so that you'll have a sense of what threads, strands, whatever, for different kinds of fabrics. So we lay the foundation with fabric and thread, since the two kind of go together. We lay the foundation in the first two, and then we'll move on from there. But we get questions all the time. People post questions all the time about what thread count, what does that mean, how does the threads interact, do I need one strand, two strands, blah 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 blah. All those questions come up all the time, and not just from rookies but from veterans too, who are trying something new. So we're going to start with that, lay the groundwork with all that, and then we'll build off of that to deal with different threads and different applications. So that's tonight. Join us. It's going to be fun. I'm really excited to have this. I think this is going to be a great series.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm super excited, and I like how you're structuring it. This is really good.
Yeah.
That way throughout, it's you already have that basis of threads to fabric, so you can kind of eliminate those questions beforehand.
Right.
Or as much as possible.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing about that. You can say, all right, we're going to lay some foundation, but you can only do it to a point, and then it becomes application specific. It's the
exactly.
old. Then it depends. That comes up, and so you can only do so much of that, and then we get to a specific type of thread, and then it depends. Are you using this on a high count linen or a low count linen, or are you using it on an Aida or canvas? What are you using it on? And then let's talk about that. And that's the tough part about so much of this stuff is it, in so many instances it depends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's good to at least get some basic knowledge and groundwork, the basic rules, and then you jump off from those basic rules into the more specific applications, kind of.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll get this started. I'm really excited to have this. I'm really glad Cathe's doing this because she knows threads, and undisputed that she knows threads, and to be able to have this, and then as we lay this groundwork, we'll give an opportunity for people to say, hey, can we talk about this topic or that topic? And feel free to send them. We've already had one person sent a list of questions and some other comments about what she was interested in. So, send to Gary at wetalkfiber.com any comments that you have or things you hope Cathe will cover in the future. This person sent a Word document with, half dozen plus questions. And,
nice.
It's helpful because we want to cover what people are interested in. Cathe has a plan and knows what she wants to talk about. But if you have things you want us to talk about in this series, get it on the table so we can cover it. And
right.
And whether we do it with Cathe or we do it in a regular show, if we know, we can get it covered and help you out. So fire those off. It's helpful. Yes.
Nice.
That's tonight. 8 o'clock Eastern on the YouTube channel. And I would say to people, it helps if you subscribe. It makes a big difference in terms of your interaction. So if you go to the YouTube channel, just go to YouTube and put in Fiber Talk, it'll come up. And then subscribe, and then click. There's 3 bell options. One is for all notifications. If you select that, then every time that we go on the air live, then you'll get a notification. Every notification I put up, you'll get notified, so that you'll know it's coming up. And then you'll get notification. I don't know. I think it's a half hour before a live show starts. Half hour, 20 minutes. I don't know what it is, but you'll know it's coming up, and you'll have a link so you can get right there. It really makes it a lot easier for you than trying to remember and trying to sign on. If you just subscribe, it just simplifies life for you. And
then you know what? The other day, on the last Wednesday, the tour that you guys did. So I discovered that on my phone, I pull it up on my phone, the Fiber Talk on the YouTube and stuff. And then you know how you can link your phone to your TV?
Yes.
So you push the button, you link the phone so it comes up on the TV, but I can still comment and stuff and follow the comments on my phone, but watch it on my TV.
And there you go. Yep.
Fabulous. So you have the big screen, but you still have the interactive ability on your phone.
Yep.
But you have to link it with that little TV icon that has like that little the Wi-Fi coming out of the corner. Mm-hmm. And you link it to your TV if you have a TV that does such things, which most TVs today do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, look, I can watch it on the big TV and not peer at a little screen, but I can follow the comments, and if I want to say something, I can type it in.
Yep.
So, I discovered that the other day. I was like, check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Yeah, you're exactly right. Then you're not staring at the small screen. You can put your feet up, sit back, and just enjoy it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That works. And the same goes for the regular podcasts like this one, the audio podcast. Mm-hmm. If you go to your podcast app and just subscribe to Fiber Talk, then it downloads it automatically to your device, and you don't have to remember to get it. And it's just a lot easier if you subscribe to the app. That's what most people do. The vast audience, Fiber Talk audience, does that. Uses podcast apps because it just simplifies it. It makes it easy. Then if you forget to listen, and then it's sitting there in your app, and you can just listen to it whenever you want. And the nice thing about, I've said this 100 times, the nice thing about podcast apps is it downloads the podcast to your device, and then you don't have to have Wi-Fi, or if you have limitations on your phone data, you don't have to worry about that either. So you can go for a walk or a ride in the car or whatever and listen, and not have to worry about whether you have connection or not. So yeah. Cool. So it just makes it a lot easier. I just use the Apple podcast app that's built right into my phone for all my podcasts. I just use that. Stitcher is the one that seems most common for Android phones. It's not a needlework thing. It's just, I don't know why it's called Stitcher. I know, it just
so
weird.
Immediately takes your mind. Yeah, it's like, how did they even get that name?
I know, but that's a very good app for Android phones. And you just put in Fiber Talk, comes up, you hit subscribe, and then the shows are downloaded. And you can get once you do that, then you can get past shows. You can save shows. I don't save Fiber Talk shows, but I save other podcasts. I save shows. One that I listen to, he interviews celebrities a lot. And so I'll save those. If they're ones that Margo might enjoy, I'll save those. And then if we're driving a long distance, then we'll put them on in the car, and so she can listen to them, because she doesn't listen to that particular podcast. But the ones that I know she'd be interested in, then I just save those. So you can do that with Fiber Talk podcasts. You say, hey, I want to go back and hear that again. There were a couple things in there I want to hear again. Yeah, you save it. So use the technology to make it easier on yourself.
Because you have to pause and shop sometimes.
Right. There's that. There's that. Yes. Yes.
I've done that plenty of times. Pause. Go to the website, see what it's all about.
You have to pause and shop. I like that. Yeah, you have to pause and shop. Yes, it's an essential.
It's very important.
Yep. But so that's the way to do it. And so tonight is Cathe Ray. That'll be the third Wednesday now, the third Wednesday of every month will be Cathe and Thread Talk. So you can just kind of bank on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's going to be great.
It will. It will.
Super excited.
It will be good. Remember now that you can get the Mary Jane Fry, WeTalkFiber.com/MJF1861. Get that sampler, and then /MJF1861 kit will get you to Sassy Jacks to purchase the kits that Kim has put together for that sampler. It's a great little sampler. It's free. Amanda Rowe, the solitary stitcher, made it available to us. It really is a great little sampler if you want a free sampler, and then somebody has put together the kits for you to choose from. This is the way to do it, because it really is a very nice sampler.
I'm working on a different sampler right now, though.
What are you working on?
Springhill.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
You know.
Oh, yes. Springhill. Did I make progress on Springhill or what?
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
I don't think I've seen. Have you put up a latest picture? I've only seen your Vine and Jessica stuff.
Well, that was it.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you did more.
No, we were gone all weekend. It was
right.
Yeah, I wasn't able to stitch. But anyway, yeah. But I did make progress. I'm pretty excited about it. So
I like that.
Yeah, I took all we're just dealing with the vine that goes around the top, thin little thing. So I took the advice of was it Carrie Noss was instrumental in this. So the vine that goes around the top, then I backstitched it the way it's prescribed in the instructions, and then Carrie, and her name is Noess. I'm going to go with Noss.
Yeah, that seems.
She suggested whipping it to get that twisted rope effect that I was after. And so I took a lighter green and I did that. I just did a whip stitch all the way around, and that worked. She was right. It worked. And we're talking one strand on 40 count. So it's not like it's a giant thing. But it gave a little life to that one weaving strand of thread that goes all the way around the top. It just added a little bit of life to it. You know, and I keep reminding myself that at normal viewing distance, you're not going to see all this detail, but the overall impact, I think, will be there. So I did that, and then the off of this vine are leaves and tendrils. So then I did all of those in the darker base vine color, and did the leaf. I just did the leaf so that the spine would have a dark spine. And then the leaves, then I satin stitched. And these leaves are minuscule. So it's like, I don't know, maybe 6 stitches on a side is all it is.
I know, but they're so cute.
Yeah, it worked out. And I'm trying to follow the shape just right. And I realized this is stupid. It's a leaf and it's minuscule. Get close. And so then they went a lot faster, because I was doing a lot of fiddling and splitting canvas threads or linen threads. You idiot, just put it in there. It's
no,
not
they
gonna
came
matter.
out great. They look super cute. You have to put a picture in.
Yeah,
so
I will.
I'll
put in. So the leaves now that were originally spec'd to be outlined now are stitched leaves with satin stitch. So that I thought that added a nice little touch. And then we had talked about Jessica's, and you had come up with the Jessica stitch as a way to make the flowers that are on there. So I did that, and that worked out great. And that made a nice little 3-dimensional bump of a flower. And then I took Beth's suggestion of just choosing one of the colors, because Karen has it several colors all the way around, three or four colors all the way around. And so I just took one that I liked, and I made the flowers that color.
Okay.
And that is on the side. When I get to the top, I might go to a lighter color. I'm not sure. But I'm not going to change. Every one is not going to be a different color as prescribed. I'm just going to keep it consistent.
Okay.
So all of that, for a vine, a lot of, I want to say is a lot of extra work, but really it's not that much extra work, and I think it puts more life into the vine. So.
Yeah. So how are you securing your Jessicas? Are you weaving the ends into the vine and then doing the Jessica and then weaving it on the back, or are you doing a pin stitch, because they're so little?
Pin stitch.
You are?
Yeah, pin stitch under the Jessica, and then when you're done, then there's plenty of Jessica underneath to tie it into. But yeah, I start with a pin stitch Actually, I'm using a T stitch is what I'm using, T or an L stitch.
Okay. Right.
Under the, then you can hide it. It'll just hide. So
yeah, and because they are such full Jessicas, it does cover.
Yeah.
It gives good coverage. Because I think on my butterfly mandala, I think because I did those last and there's all that other stitching around, I think that I just anchored it onto the other existing threads on the back. I don't think I pin stitched it or anything.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was also using silk.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, that was kind of that was the first project that I ever used silk on, is that butterfly lace mandala. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is my other WIPGO project this month, which I'm lagging on a little because it's been last week. I actually got a headache and I did not feel good. It was the night of the show, the tour, and then the next day I actually had a headache. It was real mild, but and so it threw me off my stitching game for a few days.
So now you get caught up.
Yes, I'm a little bit behind on my WIPGO.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you'll get caught up. Yeah, those Jessicas, it was a great idea because now for me, with the Soie d'Alger on 40 count, it's filling in. It's giving a nice little like dark hole, I guess, but you don't see it all the way to the linen for mine. But then Beth, using 103, she gets a big enough opening in the middle, because Jessicas have an opening in the middle, or should have, if they're big enough. She's getting a big enough opening that she's looking at putting a bead or a French knot in the center, which is a cool extra thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think that'd be cute.
Right. Because the original chart, the original design is an eyelet, and which obviously will work quite well. But if she's able to put get a bead small enough, or even just a French knot to put in there, that's going to really add a nice little touch to it.
Yeah, it'd be cute. It's like the little yellow center of the flower.
Right, right. So it's just fun. I mean, it's fun taking this one, as we said last week, really lends itself to making these kinds of adjustments and putting a little more dimension to it if you want. And like we've all said, all three of us, if it doesn't work or you don't like it, you know that what Karen Klubel put in the original design will work. So just go back to that and move on. And yeah, because there's at some point you can only experiment so much, and then it's just time to move on. You know, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I like the vine. I think I'm probably going to wrap my vine and do the Jessicas. And I'm looking at the leaves. I might even do the leaves too. Yeah. Because I like how you did the leaves.
I was really happy with those. I have to say, I wasn't sure.
So then you didn't do the curly Q on the end of the leaf then?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, did you? I don't remember in the picture. Okay.
Yeah, I did that in the dark. See, I did the dark all the way spine through, and I made the tendril dark. And then I made the leaf whatever color she spec'd for that. Yeah. Yeah, I did them. I'm sure they're there.
Can't remember.
Yeah. So, and I might have, for the tendrils, I might have gone to a lighter color, but I just decided to stay with the same base color as the vine, and it worked out. So.
Right.
But it's just, it's fun. It's adding a new dimension to doing this chart, doing the Springhill chart. And, when I got it finally got it all and sat back and said, all right, that works. We're going with that. And it gives a little more something to it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cute.
It's fun to play. It's just fun to try things. And, yeah.
Yep, the rest of mine, I'm just doing normal so far. I'm on so I got all the green for that big, huge band with the three big flowers at the top. Mm-hmm. Got all the green done, and I got the first flower finished, and I'm halfway through the middle flower. And then I'll have the next flower, and then I'll be done with that section.
Yeah.
And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the vine around, because I'm right there at the bottom corner where I can start the vine, go up and around, and then fill in the alphabets. And then I'll be moving to the bottom section.
Yeah, I know you're flying. You're flying along. Yeah.
I know.
Yep. So if you still want to do that, you can certainly get in on the stitch along. WeTalkFiber.com/Springhill will take you to the Needle in a Haystack page with all the things, and you can get kitted up and join us. Jennifer's furthest along by far. Beth and I aren't nearly as far along. But yeah, you can join us, and as we try these different things, if you like them, you might add them in. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yep, I'm having fun with it. I really like it. A lot of it, once you get a certain part done, you can just kind of go. Like even the flowers, there's lots of areas where you get a little bit of base work done, and the rest of it you just kind of fill in with minimal glancing at the chart, and I love that.
Yeah. Yeah,
really
it does.
nice.
It goes fast, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to look at every single little square, you know?
That's just it. Yeah, me coming off of Hannah Longstreth, where you gotta check every single stitch because there's variations all over the place, and to be able to just say, all right, this is 5 straight ones, 2 at an angle, 5 straight ones, 2 at an angle the other way, just go. Yeah, it's very, very relaxing. Yeah, you don't have to look at a chart; just throw the chart on the table and go. Yeah.
I mean, it's there, but
right.
Once you've done it on one side, it mirrors on the other side exactly.
Right,
so then
right.
You know what to do. It's fantastic.
It's kind of a relief.
Yeah, I bet for you.
Oh yeah, for no doubt. I mean, it really is. It took me a while just to realize you don't need to check the chart for every stitch. that was a reproduction sampler. This one, Karen did them all the same. Just go. Yeah, and then it was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think what I'm going to do at the bottom, with all that grass, I'm going to do all the internal stuff first. And then I'm just going to, then anything that's open, it just gets filled in.
Yeah.
And then you just fill in. And you don't have to look. Mindless. And you can just chill. And you can watch TV and just stitch.
Yep.
It's going to be great.
Yep. And speaking of reproduction samplers, my next one is going to be Lucy Calcutt, one of the Lucy Calcutts. And now here I am, and I forgot to remember the lady's name. Somebody sent me a picture of her Lucy Calcutt. Nuts. I forgot. Sorry. She sent it. It was very nice, and it was progress that she was making. And I was going to remember her name, and then I didn't. I didn't write it down. See, that's the problem.
Yeah.
So it'll come to me right after we get done recording here. But anyway. So I'm going to take that one, and I'm going to use Cosmo threads.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm going to stitch that one with Cosmo threads. I'm going to convert, monkey around and convert it, and do that because I like those Lucy Calcutts, and both of them. And
they are adorable.
So I'm going to do that since now I'm accumulating Cosmo threads through the Sassy Jacks Cosmo Thread Club. I will have the colors, I'm sure. No doubt. That sold out. The solid colors sold out. There's still some slots for the variegated that you can get. So that's WeTalkFiber.com/Cosmo Variegated. There's still slots available for that. And Kim's going to add slots for the solid colors when she gets more stock. But right now she can service everybody who's in the club, and she's not going to get in that position of yours are coming in the mail.
Right.
So she'll open more slots when she has more stock. But like every
nowadays, you just don't know.
Right. Like every store, she's in the same boat. So
it's great that needlework has taken such a resurgence.
Yeah.
I mean, it was coming back anyway, but then the pandemic hit, and it just really just threw it into overdrive, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, no question it has, and I think you're right. We were seeing a real growth, particularly in cross stitch. And
because you know how the reason I really got back into it is because some of the knitters I was following, and this was a young girl, like in her early 20s, she had discovered like Clouds Factory and the other one, Tiny Modernist, and they have really cutesy cross stitch things. And she had showed that she was working on those. And I was like, that's cute. That's different. I've never seen that. And that kind of prodded me back into doing cross stitch more. Because I was still dabbling, but I wasn't doing as much. And young girls that were knitting started doing cross stitch and got me shoved back into it. And then I discovered FlossTube, all these new online designers, all this stuff. And that's when I was like, wow, cross stitch has changed.
Yeah.
So,
but that was, it was, cross stitch was very strong. We speak in the past of was, and it was only a year ago, but I mean, it was growing very energetically, I guess. But the pandemic has no doubt has accelerated that. But then I think the cool thing is the pandemic has accelerated interest in other techniques.
Oh yeah, and just craft in general.
Yeah.
Just across all crafting.
Right. Oh yeah.
Because suddenly parents have their kids at home, and it's like, okay, artwork time, and the parents, it's really crafting, and so the parents have to go out and buy the craft supplies, and they're like, oh, this was fun. I remember doing this, and so then they got back into it because they were doing it with their kids.
Yeah. No, there's the crafting, the whole craft world, the Michaels and Hobby Lobby, all that stuff. But needlework has really benefited from this, and I think that I hope, and I'm pretty confident that the cool thing will be that it will stay after the pandemic subsides. People will have realized that doing this is a whole lot more fun and productive than staring at a screen. So,
and it's so relaxing.
Philippa Turnbull, crewel work designer in England. She's been going gangbusters with videos and classes, and several doing white work and black work. All the techniques have really gotten lifted as a result of this. And
and then so many people listen. I mean, they do listen to podcasts or listen to audiobooks, so you're not looking at a screen, so you need something to do while you're listening. So instead of playing a computer game or an online game, you can do this.
Right. Yeah. And when you're done, you actually have something to show for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Besides just hours spent sitting on your sofa poking at your device.
But no, it's pretty exciting because this overall hobby industry has really taken off. I mean, when shops are consistently running 3 and 4 days behind shipping because they just have so many orders, and manufacturers are so far behind because they just simply can't make it fast enough.
Right. And plus everybody had to shut down for a while.
Right.
So nobody was making anything for a while.
Yeah.
Because it's a year now since we shut down.
Right. Yeah.
So.
And it's really been great. It's really been great. Been a great resurgence for the needlework world. It's a kind of an ugly way to get it done, but it got done. So.
I mean, it was happening anyway, but it really shot it into overdrive and was like ramped it up.
Yep.
People suddenly had nothing else to do.
Yeah, I never got to that point. I was always jealous of all the people. I've got days and days to. I've never had that, but
I mean, you work from home.
More power to y'all.
You were already quarantined.
Yeah, I didn't. It really wasn't much change for us. No.
No.
Permanently quarantined, but
that's right.
Yeah, I never had those days where I could just sit and stitch all day, but it happened to a lot of people, and so they took advantage of it. And now I think we're going to see a lot of things will change and never go back. And this is one good thing that will change and
absolutely
carry on. Yeah, really great.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Yep. So so join us for the Springhill thing. Not too late by a long stretch, and it's a beautiful piece. And coming up, I think in May, late May.
Yeah, she said May. Summerhill,
the summer version of this. So, and that one.
Yes, and I'm going to be ready.
That's
I'm
a good one.
I'm going to be ready because I love it. I'm getting this one done.
Yeah, if you want to see that, go back to YouTube to the live shows. The January 1 live show where we kicked off the Springhill Stitch Along.
Right. And that's where she showed it.
Yeah, we had Karen Kluba with us, and she showed us the Summerhill version that's coming up at the end of May. Yeah. You'll want it. Trust me, you'll want it.
Oh, yes. I mean, I remember, I don't remember all the details. I remember it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and look again because I just know I'm getting it and doing it, and
Yep.
it's happening.
That's one of those. If Springhill and Summerhill are like that, then there's no doubt the other two.
Ooh,
You want the whole set. Yeah.
for sure.
You got to have the whole set. Yes.
Yep.
That's a good one. So yeah, that'll be a good series to have. And yeah, that summer one, I tell you, that's stuck in my head.
I know.
Yep. So check that out, and join us for the stitch along. Share. The hashtag is FTSpringhill on Instagram, and share what you share what you stitch. It's fun.
Yep. I'll have to put up a progress photo here today.
Yes, we haven't seen one in a few days from you.
No, I've been working on it, but one of the things that goes by the wayside when I'm not feeling super fantastic is social media.
Yes.
And I may do things, but posting doesn't happen because I can barely just get through the day.
Yeah. So you're the furthest along of the three of us, so we need to see your progress. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Give me something to shoot for.
I know.
Sunday. All right. Last Sunday, if you haven't heard last Sunday's show with Lorraine Turner, highly encourage you to go listen to it. Not right now. Let this show end. And then it's like when the minister in the middle of the sermon suggests something you might do, and then not now while I'm giving the sermon, but afterwards. But Lorraine Turner, Calico Horses, I'm still pumped up about it. Really, quite a story about her artwork, how it comes out of her meditation, her ability to communicate with animals, and how that is all worked into her artwork, and how she builds these. She's a textile artist, and how she uses printed fabric to make the animals work, make them look realistic or 3D. The whole thing is just really, really neat, and she's an incredible lady. So check that out. And then when you get that one done, Sunday, Di van Niekerk, we get to talk about ribbon embroidery.
Yeah, I saw that name, so I went and Googled it, and I was like, wow, beautiful.
It's not your normal pot of flowers ribbon embroidery either.
No.
No.
And some of it looks so real.
I know.
Like, oh my gosh.
Because when you think of, when somebody says ribbon embroidery, you immediately go pot of flowers, bunch of roses and tulips.
Mm-hmm.
And she does that. She has kits for that, if that is what you like. But then she's gone that extra level with a painted landscape or a painted courtyard scene or something, and then you use ribbon embroidery to bring it to life. And it's just, yes, those are spectacular. They're really amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yep.
That's good. And it was a lot of fun to talk to her. And she couldn't get ribbons that had nature type colors. So another part of her business is they make the ribbon.
Oh, she like dyes her own colors.
Yeah, they get the silk ribbon and they hand paint it. It's actually all hand painted.
Oh, wow.
They hand paint the ribbon so you can get the colors. So if you're doing a tree, you can get the greens that you need.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So is she in the Netherlands or is she
South
in
Africa?
South Africa. Oh, South
Yes.
Africa. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's your Dutch connection. All right.
Spectacular. So don't miss that Sunday, and definitely go to her website to see. We'll have it on the Instagram. I'll have some pictures, and on the YouTube, I'll have some pictures, and just 2 or 3 on the podcast page. But definitely go to her website to see the full breadth of what they do, because it is spectacular. And all ribbon embroidery. It's amazing. Because it doesn't, that's the thing, is it doesn't look like ribbon embroidery, does it?
No, not like your traditional, what you used to see back in the 80s and 90s, ribbon embroidery.
Right. No, it looks realistic. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's gorgeous.
Yep. It was a blast talking to her. It was really fun. So,
nice.
Yeah. So be sure and catch that one. That's a good one. Yep. That's a good one. Enjoyed it. So there we have it. All those things.
Good.
All those things. There was Beth and I were talking about this the other day, and we never got to it last week. But the making the like if you're doing cross stitch, at what point do you get tired of making X's and you want to do something else?
Oh, I don't know. Whenever you just are over the pattern you're doing, or your eyes are tired, you need to change.
Yeah, but some people, that's all they do, and it's all they've ever done, and all they ever want to do is do cross stitch. And then, like for me, after a while, I need to do some kind of other stitch, some kind of other needlework, some kind of like do it on canvas or whatever.
Yeah,
I need to try something else. I need to.
Yeah, I do. You start getting like while you're stitching, you're like, this is good, but I'm getting a little bored. And then your mind starts thinking of other things. And then suddenly you're like, okay, I have to put this down and go do that now. Because your mind just comes up with something else to do.
Yeah, yeah. For me, it's
start getting a little antsy and bored. I don't know. It happens or it doesn't,
Yeah. Because for me, I mean, I don't get that many hours in a week to stitch. And I enjoy doing cross stitch. I enjoy doing it, and a lot of that. There's a lot of plus to just making X's. You don't have to think about making the stitches,
right?
You just go. But I do get to a point where I need to do some kind of a different kind of needlework, which is why I have so many techniques in the hopper. But it just helps me to go do something else, and. And I hear about, people will post, my enthusiasm for doing cross stitch or whatever is just gone away. And, what do I do? And for me, it's always then go try a technique you've never tried.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Try something different. And if you don't want to spend a lot of money, try to do something that incorporates the supplies you already have.
Right.
Which with embroidery and cross stitch, it's, you have the supplies for many different techniques.
Yeah.
So, and if you don't have the exact right thing, since you're just trying it, try it with what you have. And then if you like it, then you go buy the fancy stuff.
Right.
But you start off with just playing around with what you have. So you don't invest a lot of money on something you're like, oh, I don't like this after all.
Yeah. Well, and that's an excellent point, because if you're going to go try something and, it's done with linen thread, you don't have to have that. Just grab some DMC floss and a piece of cloth and try the technique.
Right.
Like if you're going to do black work, you don't have to have 4 different thicknesses of black work thread and this and that and the other thing. Just get some dark DMC floss and try doing a design on a piece of scrap cloth and see if you like it. And
right,
like you said,
like doing black work.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you like doing black work, but like you said, you don't
with anything.
You have the materials that you need to at least try it. And then if you say, hey, I think this black work would be fun, then go get some black thread.
Right. Yeah. Then take it to the next level.
Yeah.
But so many things, they have tutorials on YouTube for pretty much anything.
Yeah.
So you can find a tutorial to just walk you through the basics and just use whatever you have. And then if you're like, oh, I really like this, then you go out and buy the special stuff.
And free patterns. There's free patterns from designers all over the internet for just about any technique. Just simple little things. You just grab that pattern, print it out. It's free. They want you to try it, and you give it a whirl with just some thread that you have on a piece of scrap, and it breaks the whatever technique you're using. If you're doing needlepoint, or you're doing cross stitch, or you're doing embroidery, and you just don't want to pick it up, you just don't want to do it, but you feel like stitching. Try something else, but don't invest a lot of money in it. Just use what you have. Yeah.
Yep. In case you don't like it,
Yep.
So, because you can even try like canvas work. You can try doing the techniques on like Ada or whatever and just pretend,
Right.
Yeah, it's not canvas, but just do the stitches and stuff. And then if you're like, okay, I enjoy doing these stitches, then go get some canvas and maybe just get the cheap stuff at first try it, and then maybe go to the next level.
Yeah.
And I know, of course, your results are always going to be better for a specific technique if you're using the correct materials. But you can find out if you like doing the movements. You can find out if, you enjoy reading the pattern, or,
Right.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and not spend any money. I'll tell you one thing my friend Mary McGuire has done successfully several times is take a cross-stitch chart and stitch it on canvas, on needlepoint canvas, 18-point needlepoint canvas, doing basket weave or doing other stitches, but use the cross-stitch chart because that's all set up on a grid too. So it's an easy conversion. And then you can then you have the bigger canvas and the heavier canvas threads that will hold up with other types of threads.
Yeah.
So you can get out some of your rainbow galleries and other things, and just take that cross stitch chart and start doing it on an 18 count needlework canvas, and break out some other threads and play around. And she's done several.
That could be fun.
Yeah, she's done several of those, and they really come out great. And you can really kind of let your imagination go wild. And like for instance, take just take a cross stitch chart that you did, and just take a section of it that you really like, and then stitch that on needlepoint canvas. And yeah.
And then you can make it into like a cool big pillow that's a little bit more user friendly than like your special cross stitch delicate,
Right. But you can do things like if you have on there, if you're doing that, then you have a canvas that you can, you might make, if you have a wagon, make the wheels, make Jessicas out of the wheels. All kinds of things that you can do, and there's different threads they're thicker threads that will work on 18 count canvas that on the linen they won't even go through the holes.
Right.
But you can play around with those things, dip into the whole Rainbow Gallery archive, dip into all the Kreinik things, and just kind of let yourself go nuts without really spending any money at all, because everybody has some stash of that kind of stuff.
Because what if you're like a needlepoint person and you want to dabble in some cross stitch, but you don't want to buy all the DMC and all that stuff, but you have all this other type of thread and canvas, then you can just take the cross stitch chart, do it on your needlepoint, because you have all that stuff already. Yeah,
there's nobody standing at a gate saying that's a cross stitch chart. You can't do that on needlepoint. No.
Exactly.
Right. But no, that's a great way to try. Try something different and kind of just test the waters. And you just do basket weave.
Cleanse the palette.
Yeah, if you're filling in a space that's normally X's, just do basket weave with it.
Right.
And that's simple. That's fill that in, and but then, like for instance, you do a roof line. There's some Rainbow Gallery threads that are fuzzy, look like snow. You can do that on the roof if you want a winter scene. There's just all kinds of different threads that just don't come up in the cross stitch world because they're just too thick to go through even Ada.
Right.
So give that a try. You'll have to get some bigger needles. But so what?
Needles aren't expensive.
Yeah. But yeah, if you get, just get caught, try that kind of stuff. Just give it a whirl.
Yep. Or, like last week I did some sewing. And then I actually sewed because I knew I wanted to sew that bunny pillow, that honey bunny by Artful Offerings. And so I was like, all right. And in my head, like my eyes could not handle cross stitch, but I wanted to do something. So I sat down at my sewing machine and just started working on this little quilt that I've had going for a few years and got myself kind of back into it. And then I sewed my bunny pillow, and I've sewed a couple other pillows, and I have some other ones ready to go. And I've started finishing some of my cross stitch.
Well, and there's another thing right there. I'm tired of making X's. Try finishing. There's plenty of tutorials for how to finish. Grab some old cloth, learn how to make a pillow with cloth that is just going to get thrown away anyway, and then get out your finished piece and make a pillow out of it.
Yep, and it's super easy. You know what I've done on the few that I've made here, because I didn't want to deal with the seam in the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I sewed it all the way around, and then I cut a little hole in the backing, the back fabric, and I turned it inside out there. And then I have some, I've got some felt, or you could use felt, or you could even use other fabric, and you put it over the hole. Like I whip stitched the hole together after I stuffed it. And then I'm going to sew this little like felt heart on the back. Yeah. And you see a lot of designers do that, especially because I put lace around it, and I trying to sew on the lace and then sew up a hole on the bottom with lace. It's difficult.
So that way your seam all the way around the outside is consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly perfect. And then you cut a hole in the back, stuff it, turn it, stuff it, and then patch over the hole.
With something decorative, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And lots of people do that.
Yeah.
Lots of finishers, and you can put a cute button or whatever on there, and it makes it look like it's a design element as well, instead of an easy way to stuff it.
Yep. Yeah, so that's another thing. Yeah, try finishing that stack of stuff that's in your drawer. Different world. Different world. Do you put a cute button on the back? Do you ever put an ugly button on the back? Never mind.
Maybe. If you want to use it, you can turn an ugly button into a cute button by adding it to something else that's cute, and suddenly it's charming.
Okay.
And it's not so ugly anymore.
I just often wonder that. I put a cute bow on it. Would you put an ugly bow on? Would you have done that? Probably not.
Well, it's funny because in the quilting world, there's Bonnie Hunter, Quiltville, and she does scrappy quilts. And she's like, if a piece of fabric is still ugly, you haven't cut it small enough yet. And put it into your scrappy quilt.
They get prettier the smaller they get. Okay.
That's right.
All right.
And you just blend them with lots of other ones, and suddenly that ugly fabric is just in there and is part of an element of a huge, beautiful quilt.
There we go.
Yep.
Just haven't cut it enough. Okay.
Yep. Haven't cut it small enough yet.
Yep. So it was just something that we were talking about, and how do you get some variety in your stitching but keep stitching, and try stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The picture we put up 2 weeks ago, Carrie Noss, it's like Carrie Noss month or something, I don't know. But she sent me some, and I can use photos. If you have photos of your needlework that you want to share that I can use with the floss tube video on Wednesdays, please send them to me. Put your name on them. If you have a way of putting your name right on the picture, please do that. If not, I'll put them on, but it's takes a little bit of time. So if you can save me that time, I appreciate it. But I always like to have from people, send me half dozen or 8 pictures of your needlework projects, finished ones, so I can put them up in the video. But Carrie sent a bunch for me, and then she also included a doodle cloth that she had used.
Yeah.
And we showed that on the Wednesday show 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that will not leave me because it's such it's an excellent example of how to use a doodle cloth, because she had actually taken a needlepoint canvas, 18-point canvas, and put it on stretcher bars. And then that was just her play area. And the picture was different stitches, different colors, just working out how she was going to do things. And on this basically scrap canvas.
Okay, so what I did when I was doing needlepoint a while back and I was first learning is, I doodled off on the side because it was a painted canvas.
Mm-hmm.
But the things that I doodled, if it wasn't going to work, I'd take it out though. And then I found the other places I was like, remember when you did it that way? Because then you're like, oh, but that other thing that I was fiddling with might work. But if you've taken it out, it's not there as an example anymore.
Right.
So you need to keep everything that you doodle in, because it might work for something else, but it's not working for what you want right now. But if you take it out, then it's not there for you to go back and look at, even though you remember it in your mind.
Yep.
You know what I'm
don't
saying?
take that stuff out. Don't take that stuff out. Keep the mistakes, because the mistakes might be success elsewhere. Exactly. Yep.
Exactly. Because,
Yeah. Or the
just because
yeah, or the mistake, you keep it to remind yourself, don't do that again.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, you're exactly right. Yeah, keep all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Might pay off. You never know. Because how many, like how many stitches are really mistakes trying to do another stitch?
Yeah.
And then they worked out so people kept them and named them.
Exactly.
It's happened more than once. Yeah. It's honestly just a mistake. Yeah.
Yep. But it's either a mistake or it's a design feature.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So. Yep.
It's like, oh, no, I meant to do that, didn't you know?
Yeah.
It's not a mistake.
I'm creating a visual effect here. Thank you.
Right.
Glad you enjoyed it.
That's exactly right.
Yep. Yeah, no, keep that. And I have been using on Springhill, I've been using the margin as a doodle cloth a lot. And same kind of thing as I've experimented just doing this little bit of vine that I finally got worked out. There's been a lot of doodling on the side, trying this and that, mainly so I don't keep stitching over the same threads in the design area,
right?
Because I hate that when they get to the point where it's like, oh, I really need to get a new piece of linen. And
yeah, because that's the other thing, you don't want to mess up, because you can overwork an area, and then you've messed it up. You've messed up your ground cloth and stuff. It can be overworked.
Yeah, so do it on the side. Yep, do it on the side. Do it on another piece, but take advantage of that. It really pays off. It really does. If nothing more than, like you said, make a mistake. Might work somewhere else. Hang on to it.
Yeah, because it's like, oh wait, remember when I did that and it looked like that? That would be great here.
Yep.
So it'd be nice to still have that example so you remembered exactly what you did.
Yeah, you look over to where you stitched it. Oh, man, why did I tear that out?
Yeah, and then you have to reinvent the wheel all over again.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yep. All right, that's enough.
Yeah. All righty.
I think so. Join us tonight with Cathe Ray.
Be great. It's going to be awesome.
We will learn. Yes. All right. Dive and Niekirk on Sunday. Cathe Ray tonight. Thanks for listening.
Bye.